The book is Never Enough, Donald Trump and the Pursuit of Success. The author, Michael D'Antonio, Pulitzer Prize winner, reporting going on with Newsday. A group of journalists from Newsday went on to write many acclaimed books, Atomic Harvest, State Boys Rebellion, also written for Esquire, New York Times Magazine, and Sports Illustrated. As you might guess, Michael's busy, but he's taking a couple of minutes out of his morning for us. Michael, good morning to you.
Good morning, fellas.
How's it going this morning?
Boy, I'm raring to go.
Boy, you couldn't have picked anything more topical than this. People are going to want to learn a little bit more, maybe a lot more, about Donald Trump, and maybe not how he is portrayed by those who would like to take him down or just, make a story to fill out a day. You want to learn a little bit more about what drives this guy. What prompted you to get into the Trump world?
Well, I actually thought he was nearing the end of his run. It was about 3 years ago. He had turned 65. I went to see him and said, Donald, you've been on the stage for 40 years. It's time to do a real biography of you. And he, Donald being Donald, he said, sure, I'll take the attention, anything. And we were off and running. Little did I know he'd wind up leading the campaign.
This would be called an unauthorized biography, Michael, but it does include interviews with Donald Trump and others very close to him.
Yeah, I actually spoke to all three of his wives. Not being being a Christian and an American, he's had them one at a time. They all said good things and negative things. I'm pretty proud that all the reviewers say, listen, this fellow went right down the middle. There's some outrageous stuff in here, but it's all accurate and it's fair.
I love the part where he confesses he avoids reflecting on himself because he might not like what he sees.
Well, you got to give the guy points for honesty. He'll tell you what's in his mind for good and for bad.
The book, Never Enough, Donald Trump and the Pursuit of Success. Michael D'Antonio is the author. It's Riley and Scott here on WROK. You talk a bit about learning the real estate business from his dad, Fred Trump, but he also learned the importance of free publicity and getting the media to cover you for no cost whatsoever.
Well, and he's really the king of that. There's a great photo in the book, and sometimes, I hate to say it, but as the writer, I'll tell people, just look at the pictures. It'll give you an idea. And the first one is of his dad with three bathing beauties who are all posed in the bucket of a bulldozer. So this is back in the 50s. So this guy, he taught Donald how to get attention, that's for sure.
Dad was a showman. Dad was a success in his own right, and Donald Trump, as you point out, was basically heralded as a success before he even finalized his first deal.
Yeah, isn't this great? This guy gets a big profile of himself in the New York Times in 1975. They say in the construction business he hadn't put two bricks together, and it's true. But they were calling him a mogul even then, and saying he looked like Robert Redford. He was really good at this publicity thing all the way back then.
I was watching an interview with Donald Trump, would have been right around 1988, because it was near the release of The Art of the Deal. And it's just uncanny. He's just about the same. The questions are just about the same as the ones that are being asked today of him. And they were saying, boy, are you smarter than everyone else? Are you more savvy? Do you have better business acumen? How do you do it?
He probably said, yes, I am.
He did.
I'm a really smart guy. He really is a very smart guy, but he also has kind of a shtick. So he reminds me sometimes of Bob Hope or Henny Youngman. You wind him up, he goes out, and he delivers. But a lot of the lines he first delivered 40 years ago, but they work. So he goes back to them.
The book is Never Enough, Donald Trump and the Pursuit of Success. The author is Michael D'Antonio. All right, Michael, so you say, all right, you're 65 now, you're just past, it's about time for a biography. We should get rolling on that one. Does Trump lay down any ground rules? All right, yeah, but leave this, stay away from, or I don't want to talk about.
The only thing he said he wouldn't talk about was his first kiss. So, of all things, and it was a joke. I was kind of kidding.
So now you want to know.
Right. Well, absolutely. And the thing is, he went to an all-boys military school, so who knows?
Well, that explains that.
The book, Never Enough, Donald Trump and the Pursuit of Success. Michael D'Antonio is the author, Riley and Scott here on WROK. I want to ask a couple questions about what we're seeing now with the campaign and what you might have learned in the course of the book. What is with the compulsion to insult anyone who offers even mild criticism of Donald Trump?
Well, Donald's rule is if they hit you, and he said this to me word for word, hit back 10 times harder. And the thing is, you don't really even have to hit him. You could just sort of pretend, or he's looking for a chance to hit you because it generates headlines. And most people hit back. So it's not a one-day story. It's a 2-day story, a 3-day story. Just ask Rosie O'Donnell.
I've always been curious about someone who sits down to pound out a biography like this. Did you like Donald Trump before this started? Did you feel the same way when you were done? Did you evolve in your feelings toward him?
Oh, boy, that's a great question. I was very ambivalent about him. I knew he was important, but I had watched very little of The Apprentice. I'd followed him like everybody else. You can't not follow this guy. He had name recognition in the 90% in 1980, and it's gotten bigger ever since. Personally, I wound up liking him more. I kind of enjoyed spending time with him. On the campaign trail, he is awfully rough, and I don't think that the way that he attacks folks is admirable. I think he's sowing a little bit more division and anger than is required. So I'm a little disappointed in him, actually, because there's a human being inside there, and he knows some of the agitation he's causing.
I know you got to run here in a moment. Quickly, the debate over what he is politically. Liberal, conservative, populist, what does he believe, this, that? Is he really only about what's best for Donald Trump? Is that his political philosophy?
Well, he is the Donald. Come on now. No, I actually think he believes in the policies he espouses. He thinks that he should be taxed more. And I give him credit for that. He thought that single-payer health care was good. Now, and Donald does not back down. He doubles down.
Yeah, as we've seen time and time again. Grab the book, Never Enough, Donald Trump and the Pursuit of Success. You will learn a lot from it. Michael D'Antonio, much success with the book, and thanks for your time this morning.
Thanks, Riley and Scott.